Neka degal gal bi ding fa febar. Man maa ngi ni first day bi dama febar full day lekuma.
Bi muy dem kay mom fil na ko.
Continue, please proceed. Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. Wash it in, please. Thank you. The witness would speak. He would testify and closing remarks in the Mandinka language.
And we will continue with our normal swearing in procedure.
I, Sering Omar Fall.
Man, Sering Omar Fall.
Man, Sering Omar Fall. Do swear that.
Man, you what me?
The whole truth. And nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Kon Yalla dimbale ma.
Yalla sun borom dimbale.
Serigne bi Santa Fall de bilet mo ko do rek. Welcome Serigne Omar Fall to the TRC.
Serigne Omar Fall fi ci TRC.
And thank you for agreeing to come to testify.
Di la gërëm li nga nangu pour ñëw joxe fi sa seede.
You to lie before the TRC.
TRC ku fi ñëw fi wax nga fi
I have met with you before.
Daje woon naa ak yow ca gannaaw.
I you very rapidly. So for people to understand your testimony very well, speak a bit slowly and more clearly. Are you ready to proceed? Wow. Please sit closer to the microphone and raise it up a little bit. Draw your chair closer. Yes. Okay, raise the microphone a little bit. Yes. All right, thank you very much. What are your full names, sir?
Sering Omar Fall.
My name is Sering Omar Fall. Thank you. What's your date of birth?
I
thought I gave you the card. Yes, I just wanted the evidence to come from you. Your card says 1958.
What
is it? Where were you born? Yalal. Which of the Yalals were you born? Serigne Omar Fojar may lapato kat bi mu lapato bala nga tontu. You allow the interpreters to interpret before you respond.
Ban ci Yalal yi nga juddo?
Yalal Tankunjal.
Yalal Tankunjal.
Badibu.
In Badibu. What is your
lan moy sa liggéey?
Man béykat la.
I'm a farmer. I hear you are called Serigne Omar Fall. Do you also work as a Serigne?
maa ngi gis ne ñu ngi laa ooyee Serigne Omar Fall ndax yow sa liggéey tam bokk na ci di mbiri Serigne.
waaw.
Yes. Did you receive any education before you a Serigne?
balaa ngaa doon Serigne ndax am na fenn foo jaar ci sa wàllu njàng.
waaw.
Yes. Could you tell us about it?
wax ñi naka la.
ma jàng Touba laa ko def.
I studied in Touba. Where specifically in Touba?
fan ci Touba.
suñu kalifa général bi nekkoon kalifa ba wàcc doom Serigne Touba Serigne Saliou Mbacké.
Under Serigne Saliou Mbacké, the son of Serigne Touba. He was the then Khalifa General of the Murid sect. Saying Omar, when you speak, don't try to look at the interpreters. You are speaking to the commissioners. Speak directly to them.
Serigne Omar booy wax jarul ngay gesto di seet làppatookat yi ñi nga jàkkaarloo noonu muy commissionnaire yi ñooñu nga war a jàkkaarloo nga wax.
ñooñu nga waxal.
ñooñu nga waxal.
And you said you received your training in Touba under the tutelage of Serigne Saliou.
nga ne yaa ngi jàngee Touba ci ron Serigne Saliou Mbacké.
Wow. Yes. Did he personally teach you, or you were taught by some other teachers?
Serigne Saliou ci boppam moo la jàngal ndax dafa am ñeneen ci ay jàngalekat yoo xam ne ci ñoom doon nga jàngee.
li ma wax ne adduna yëpp mu ma dégg Touba ñu ma déglu man kenn ñàkk suma sëriñ Serigne Sarr rek mooy suma sëriñ moo ma jàngal.
What I'm saying, the whole world is listening to me, the whole of Touba is listening to me. Serigne Saliou was my teacher. At what stage in your life did you go to Touba to study?
ban jamono ci sa dunda ci nga dem Touba pour dem jàngi fa.
fekk maa ngi am daanaka fanweeri at ak lu teg de.
At that time I was 30 plus years. And what kind of education or training did you receive from Serigne Saliou in Touba?
ban façon njàng moom nga jàngee ci loxo Serigne Saliou Touba.
man Serigne Saliou man Serigne Touba moom balaa man jóge fi dem Touba.
Serigne Touba was the one that directed me to him when I left here to go to Touba.
man demal mu jàngal la nga ñaanal ma ko.
He said to me, go and he will teach you and you will pray for him. And did you do that?
loolu nga def.
Wow.
Yes. And what kind of education did you receive from Serigne Saliou?
ban façon njàng moom la Serigne Saliou jàngal.
jàngal ma alquran.
He taught me the Al-Quran. And that's all, just the Quran.
Al-Quran rek la jàngal.
Wow.
Yes. And how long did your tutelage or your education in, how long did it take in Touba?
sa njàngam Al-Quran boobu nga doon def Touba ci yan diir la ñaata at la wala ñaata weer.
nga ma nekk su loxoom te ñaanal ma jàngal ma mu ne ma léegi bàyyi naa la waaye dangay nekk suma loxo fi.
When I was under him, after teaching me, he told me that you are still going to stay under me here. That is after completing the education, after completing the study.
Wow.
Yes. And how long did that take? Within 3 years. And after those 3 years, what did you do? I was in Touba. Did you remain in Touba or you were traveling back and forth to Gambia?
Danga des Touba dëkk fa ndax dang doon dem ak ñëw Touba ak Gambia.
Dama dem des dama ñëw Gambia.
I used to stay there for a while. I used to come to the Gambia as well. What connections did you have in Gambia at the time, apart from the fact that you were born here and you had extended family here?
lu uutee nag ne Gambie nga juddoo te yaa ngi fi am ay mbokka ban jokko nga am ak Gambie ba tax ngay daan dem ak a ñëw.
mujj bi ay taalibe yeneen taalibe dama day ñëw ci yeneen taalibe fi ba Kër Sëriñ fi am naa fi jabar fi Kër Sëriñ.
In the end, I used to come to some of the disciples here, so that in the end I was even able to have a wife here in Kër Sëriñ.
In 2006, did you come to Gambia?
Atum 2006 ñëwoon nga Gambia.
Wow.
Yes.
And during that period, did you happen to have any connection with people who were accused of planning a coup d'etat?
jamono boobu nag ndax am nga benn jokkoo ak nit ñi nga xam ne dañ leen tuumaal ne dañ doon fexe pour daane nguur gi.
Man amoon jokkoo de man dama nekkoon Touba because 2006 March.
I did not have any connection because in March 2006 I was in Touba.
dañuy def magal at boo dafa tombé dimanche.
After the magal, which was on a Sunday.
Then magal bi jeex.
At the completion of the magal,
am suma benn taalibe.
one of my disciples.
dafa jóge Angleterre mu ne dafa bëgg a ñëw Touba.
He came from England and he said he wanted to come to Touba.
He or a she?
góor la wala jigéen.
Jigéen.
It's a woman.
Proceed, please. Jigéen bi mu wootee mu ne moom dafay ñibbi Angleterre aljuma.
The lady called and said that she was returning back to England on Friday.
Was she Gambian or some other nationality?
moom waa Gambia la wala juddu beneen réew la.
Beneen réew la.
Another country.
waaye Angleterre foofu la nekk.
But she was resident in
White or black?
nit ku weex la wala ku ñuul.
Weex.
White lady.
Yes, proceed, please. Continue. Léegi kooku mu ne ma man damay ñibbi aljuma dama bëgg a gis la.
She said to me, I'm returning back on Friday, but I want to see you.
Ma ne ko man duma mën a ñëw de.
I told her I cannot come.
Ko suma gan yi bente jeexuñ fii.
Because the visitors I have with me here, I'm still with them.
Mu boole ma Serigne Touba.
And so she reported me to Serigne Touba.
Man ma barka Serigne Touba bëgg naa la gis nga ñëw ma gis la.
And she said, in the name of Serigne Touba, I want you to come so that I can see you.
Amoo visa pour ñëw Dakar waaye su ma amoon visa dinaa ñëw fekk la Touba.
I don't have a visa to come to Dakar, but if I had, I would have come to meet you in Touba.
Dama war a daan sa jabar dem na Thursday man ma ñëw aljuma.
Your wife left on Thursday. I wanted to come on Friday.
Munuma dama nga ñëw gis ma gis la bi ma ma naka kii dama boole dama naka gor ma ñëw talaata laa jóge Touba ma ñëw.
So she reported me, so I left here on Tuesday and I went.
Ma ñëw Agafi.
I came here.
Ma woo ko ma ne ko egsi na.
I called her and I told her that I have arrived.
Moom hôtel bi nekk fii bu Kër Sëriñ ci fi xam sax fu la nekk.
And she told me that she was at one hotel in Kër Sëriñ.
Munuma fan nga nekk fii.
She asked me, where are you here?
Ma ne ko boo ñëw jël mbedd bi ñëw ci alkaal bi rek.
I told her, if I come in, just take the route that leads to the Alcalo's compound.
Did you eventually see her?
mujjee nga koo gis.
Waaw gis naa ko.
I saw her.
And how did you come to be in connection with people who were accused of planning a coup d'etat?
léegi naka nga fexe ba jokkoo wante nag ak nit ñi nga xam ne dañ leen tuumaal ne dañ doon fexe pour def coup d'état.
Remember now you have left Touba after the Magal, you are in Gambia.
fàttalikul nag ne léegi bàyyeekoo nga Touba gannaaw màggal bi léegi yaa ngi biir Gambia.
waaw bi ma nekk Gambia fi ma nga ñooñu bari xamul ma fi.
While I was in the Gambia here, many people knew me.
Abdou Dine kër am Kër Sëriñ fi.
Abdou Dine's company is here in Kër Sëriñ.
booy wàcce kër gaara sa oto Kër Sëriñ yi dem oto yi dem Kër Sëriñ. On your left.
From the garage, if you took the bike to Kër Sëriñ on the left.
Garage këram foofu la nekk.
That is where his house is situated.
mu woo ma ci téléphone suma téléphone fekk suma dama bàyyi suma SIM card suma doom.
Called me on my telephone because each time I leave, I used to leave my SIM card with my son.
mu woo kooku.
He called him.
mu ne ko sa papa laa soxla.
And said to him, I need your father.
mu ne ko suma papa mu ngi Touba ñëwul.
And he said to him, my father is in Touba, he has not returned yet.
mu ne ko sa papa ñëw na.
And he said to him, your father has returned.
mu ne déedéet suma papa ñëwul.
And he said, no, my father has not come.
Continue woo suma jabar suma doom. They continued in that with my son until he left school. Until he closed school. That's the years. He called him on telephone by 2 o'clock. My son came to me and gave me the telephone and said, Abdul is the one online. I took the telephone and I spoke to him and he identified himself as Abdul.
But at this stage, you knew Abdul before?
Yes, I knew him.
So what conversation did you have with him? He said to me, a coup was on the offing, but it is been foiled. And once he said that to me, I rang off. We were staging a coup d'etat, and it failed. The moment he said that, I hung up the phone. Continue. Then he called again. And I said to him, Abdul, I am older than you. You know my house. Don't talk to me on anything related to a coup d'etat. Don't call me on the phone to talk about a coup d'etat. But why was it the case that Abdul was calling you? The question is, why was he calling you about and telling you about this coup d'etat? That is what I want to say completely. That's why I told him to come to my house. Proceed. When he came, he said to me, we were attempting a coup d'etat, but it has been foiled. We want you to assist us and take Ndurucham to where you are in Tuba. I asked him, which way shall I use? They said that they had the Trrc. I told him, Tuba, before you see the sea, you will have to travel something close to 200 kilometers. And I told him that even myself, when I come and I find that the ferry is not in operations, I usually use the Trans-Gambia highway. I said, I am a stone. If I fall into the sea, which has no branches, I told him, I cannot do that. I told him, I have a charm though, which if I give you and you hand over to Ndur Charm, it will enable him to leave this country and no one will be able to arrest him. At this stage, did you know who Ndur Charm was? They said he was the commander of the soldiers at the time. That was what they told me. Did you know him before? I have never set my eyes on him. Abdul, when he came to you, did he come alone? When he first came? Yes, he came alone. So after you told him about this charm you had, what happened? He said, well, let me call the one who was leading. I asked him, is he military? And he said, no, he's a civilian. So I asked him, what is his name? And he said his name was Aliu Job. Former accountant general. He said he was the former accountant general. He called him. And told him, speak to the Marabu. I said no. Speak with him, whatever you discuss, you can tell me. He spoke to him.
He said, he told him, well, if he says he can make it, let him tell you how much. I told him I never charge anybody. I told him I never charge anybody. I'm a disciple of Serin Saliu. If you know Serin Saliu, if you are wealthy, he prays for you. As if equally, if you poor, he also prays for you. Please continue. And I said to him, tell him to come and pick up this charm, since he wants this man to escape, and because if they catch him, they'll kill him. He wanted to come immediately, but I told him to wait. Let me check if there was any business to be made. I will any charities to be given. I will tell him before he comes. He asked me what time. So
I told him because it's urgent.
I told him since it's urgent,
5 o'clock.
let them allow me until 5 o'clock. After I prayed the 5 o'clock prayers, then they can come. He came with Abduddin and Ali Job. I told them I saw 3 charities. I told them 2 rams, but I will not kill them, I slaughter them myself. You will bring them yourselves and you will do the slaughtering yourselves. And you will divide them into pieces. And you should give all of it as charity. Not even a kilogram of the meat should come to my house. The other ram, leave it here. Let me pray in your presence. And we release the ram to go. Before it leaves my compound, you know, so no one will catch it here. And that is the same way that Trrc will leave this country and no one will apprehend him, if God wills. I gave the charm to Abduddin. I told him 1 is enough. It's enough. But I'll give you 4. I told him this thing usually gets missing so quickly in someone's hands. It doesn't stay long with anyone. I told him I'll give you 4. I gave them the 4 and they took them. Then I gave them to Abduddin and he gave it to him in my presence. Who did he give it to? He gave them to Ali Job in my presence. Then you left. Then they left. They went. That was on a Wednesday. Then Ali Job. I did not see him. Then Abduddin meeting. Abduddin came and said that he was supposed to go to Guinea-Bissau on a meeting. That was on another day, right? Oh. Wow. Yes. But it said to me that the government have announced that no one will leave the country until they gave clearance. It said to me, assist me. If I do not go, I would be arrested. I said to him, then you have not told me the truth. You said that you weren't a soldier. Why are you afraid then? He said, well, you know, in the issue, many people know me. Myself and Ali Job, the 2 of us were in the office today, about 12. At 12, he left and no one has seen him. If I do not leave today, it's possible that tomorrow I would be arrested. Then I said to him, it is not necessary that you leave. You just stay here. 30 minutes. After he sat down for 30 minutes,
Inshallah.
I told him the charities he has to make, and then I said to him, these people who said that they will not give you clearance, now if you go to them, they will allow you to go. And by God's intervention, when he went, they gave him clearance. He called me.
Dakar, Guinea-Bissau, then Dakar, then Manyo, Gambia.
He told me, I'm taking a flight to Dakar to Guinea-Bissau, from Guinea-Bissau to Dakar, and then back to Gambia. He said to me, if I am coming, whatever I am supposed to give to you, I'll give to you. I said to him, for me, it could be that you will not meet me here because I'm not staying long here. I will be returning to Senegal. I said to him, I told you, I did not come here because of you. The one who was responsible for my coming has returned back home. That woman gave me £500, and she said that was for my mother.
Then Abdul
left.
Ali Job was arrested the next day on Thursday.
Then that day that he was arrested, he called me on the telephone. He said that his telephone, behold, his telephone was tapped. So the 10 individuals that he had called, all those individuals were arrested.
The last 10?
Yes. I used to have interactions with people, and my telephone is never off.
24 hours.
For 24 hours.
What conversation did you have with Ali Job?
Ali Job
Ali Job said to me, I want you to help me. I said, what happened? He said, the soldiers that have been arrested, it's today that they are going to speak on television. I said to him, Ali Job, are you a soldier? He said to me, no. And I said to him, then why are you afraid? He said to me, I just wanted to help me. And then he gave me the names of some soldiers who have not yet been arrested. And he said that I should intervene so that they do not get arrested.
I should pray for them so that they would not get arrested.
I said, well, it's fine. Give me the names. And then he gave me the names.
Which names did he give you?
The names of the soldiers who were yet to be arrested.
Do you remember any of them?
Tumbul Tamba's name, you mentioned to me. Lantombo.
Musa Jame.
And Musa Jame. And other names that I have forgotten.
And he mentioned those names in connection with what?
That they too were involved in the coup attempt.
Tumbul Tamba, Lantombo, Musa Jame.
Proceed.
Egali.
I said to him, it's okay, by God's grace, they will not be arrested. I said to him, since you have said that you are not a soldier, and you know nothing about the coup attempt, I said, well, let's leave everything in the hands of God. Behold, he was arrested.
He was already in custody at the time he was speaking to you.
How much? And I did not know.
Then,
that was like Thursday,
Aljuma,
on Friday,
Sunday,
Saturday,
Dimas,
Sunday. Monday I left. Hostel.
nakama ñaaral ñettaat amul doom ñu ne tey bi.
And whichever he marries for 2
mu ne mu ñëw ak jabaram mu ne ma dama bëgg nga ñaanal ma suma jabar.
He came there with his wife and asked me to pray for the wife.
ma ne ko pour lan mu ne ma pour jabar ma ne ko man duma yàlla de.
I asked him for what reason, and he said for a child, and I said to him, I am not God.
ma ne ko yéen ustaas da ngeen di lambat.
I said, you ustasis, you are not always permanently in one place.
ma ne ko yàlla soo koy ñaan da nga war a gëm li ma ñaan dama am.
I said to him, when you are praying to God, you have to have faith that what you pray for, you are going to get.
yàlla boo koy ñaan nga am ñaar xel doo ko gis.
But if you pray to God and you have 2 minds, you don't always get what you want.
mu reetaan.
If she has a male child, name him after Serigne Touba. And if it is a female child, name her after Mam Jara, the mother of Serigne Touba. By God's grace, the wife got pregnant, and she gave birth to a female child. And he stuck to his promise, and he inquired about me, and they told him that I had traveled. And he asked where, and they told him that he has traveled to another country. So they said they were going to suspend the naming ceremony until I return.
Postpone.
So they came to the Magal in Tuba.
ma xam ne xëj na dafa bëgg a tekki moo tax parce que Europe moom soo gisee ñëpp di fa dem pour tekki moo tax.
ni ma toogee noonu maa ngi neer gaal soo si nekkee sa kaa yaa ngi dem si joni bu sori foog nga nekk di neer.
surprise naa parce que moom dafa nekk nit koo xam ne nit yu ruskat la te ñemewut tamit moo tax man tam bu ma déggee comme dafa dem si yoon bi dëgg-dëgg surprise naa tamit suma xel bi tamit toogutoon bu ma yëgee ne comme gaal bi dem na te si yooni ndox lay nekk di dem.
maa ngi wuccu soona naa si gaal bi first day moom dama over soona dama soona.
dama fële Faat Fall ma dajee moom si tanduku la ma wax faafale ut fii ma ne ko fu ngay dem foofu léegi lay dem pour dimbale suma yaay.
xanaa guddi bi daf dee métti moom trop suñu.
easy wut toon moom easy wut because man géej naa nelaw depuis dee bu mu dipaatee mu dem.
biñ génnee baara di dem ñu ngi am Mauritanie foofu leen am after gars yi ñu gis ne comme am na gaal bu am accident soo óorut pour ñu war ñoo bàyyi ñun tam ñu continuer noonu la ñu gars yi téye.
métti woon na nag métti woon na torop xalaatoon naa ko parce que loolu mos nit soo juree sa doom nga yar ko di nga xam ban façon ngi jikko ban façon ngi nit la.
dajale neen xaalis foofu def neen li ñoo suñ mobile yëpp leen dajale pour jox ko gars yi rek ndax ñu mun ñoo bàyyi ñun ñu continuer. xeexuñ xuloowuñ saaguñ leen dañ fa nekkoon rek man moom jooyuma defuma dara waaye am na si ñoo xam ne ñu ngi nekkoon di jooy.
lijjanti ko ci épisode bii di Tambala si sirisu gàddaay yuñ leen di indil koleel sa bët ci sa télé seetaanal ma Fatou Fall mu nettali ñu jaar-jaaram dinañ leen ko indil fii si GTTV samedi
19 si weeri novembre
2020 fàttalekul ne Babylon mu ngi fii si Jolof waaye nag
macha allah
ñoom ñoo dem ci police yi pour ñu def kayit pour oto yi léegi du ko dañ ngay def oto yi dem ñu commencé bàyyi.
The vehicles used to start and then they will stop. So they went to the police and they put the documents and they said any vehicle that takes passengers, it is come to Trrc. Or they will take you to the police. That up to now it's more than 15 years. Up till date, the garage is functioning. People of Trrc, they are listening to me. If what I'm saying is a lie. But when I had this
just a moment. So you directed these people to come to the Alcalo's place. Do you know whether they did that?
léegi nag nga digal leen pour ñu ñëw ci kër alkaali bi xam nga ndax def nañ loolu.
They did that. And who directed them to your house?
Alkal. Kan moo leen digal sa kër?
Alkal. And when they arrived, what happened?
léegi bañ egsee nag lu xew.
Alkal xam na li mu gis ci gannaaw.
There was something that Alcalo saw behind.
Moo ko tiital moom mu ne woon moom ngeerooto noonu delloo bàyyam gan yi foofu.
That frightened him. He had a vehicle. That was how he left the group and went away.
What do you think he saw that frightened him?
lan nga foog ne loolu la gis lu ko war a tiital.
lu ko ñaar oto bu ndaw.
There were two small vehicles.
ak ñaar pick-up. militaire ñoo nekk di am seen.
And two pick-ups with soldiers having big guns.
bi ñu ñëw ba toll diggante suma diggante ñoom des na 200 meters ñu taxaw fa pick-up bi dañu taxaw ñu bàyyi oto bu ndaw alkaal bi ñu ñëw.
When they came up to, they were left with just about 100 meters to where I was. The pickups stood there, and it was just two small vehicles and El Carlo who proceeded to where I was.
And I
said to him, "Do you not see the line?"
And who was it that you were talking to? That you told that?
I don't know him. That was why I asked him if he has not seen the line. And he said, "I was the one who called you on the telephone." I said to him, "Those who are seated here, you are not better than them." I told him, "Go and sit." He said to me, "My boss is the one who said that you should go." And I told him, "Go and tell your boss to come." I told him, "Excuse us, I'm discussing with someone and we are not supposed to hear what we are discussing. Go outside and wait." He went outside. When that person was ready and came out, someone was to come in, but then he came in again. He said to me, you are an elderly person. That is why I do not want to embarrass you here. When he said that, the hairs on my head stood. I knew that this was a government official. I said, so what now? And he said, come outside and answer to him. I said, well, tell him to come here and answer to me here. I said, do you know see the people outside here? Do you want them to know the reason why we came here? I said, well, let me get up. At that time, I used to wear 2 shirts. I had removed my bigger overall and I was only left with my small shirt. I said, wait, let me take the big overall and put it on. So since my mind was saying to me that these people are people of government officials, the type of charm that I gave them to charm, I had one of them. I said, let me pick one of them and take it along. I looked for it, but I couldn't find it. I looked into my bag, even though it's always inside my bag. And I did not see anything in my bag. I had one other charm. I said, wait, let me go and pick that one. And I made that all of the charms were mixed up. I said, well, since he said it's at the front of the gate, let me just go. And that was how I went out. As soon as I came out, he told me, get into the vehicle. I said, no. He said to me, get inside. I told him I'm not getting inside. And he said, I don't want people to know the reason why I came here. He said, just here, just here. The one who was in the vehicle opened the vehicle door. And then I went inside. He came inside too and he closed the door. Then Then I heard someone said behind me, where is your son? And I looked behind. And it was Aliu Job. I said, behold, this is it. I said, well, it's fine. I didn't tell me anything and I just kept quiet like that. The vehicle ran for about 20 meters. The one who was driving asked, where is his mobile phone? In Mandinka. Wow, she's Mandinka. In Mandinka, yes. I said to him, it's in my room. He stopped and he backstand. When we got to the compound gate, he said he sent a child to go and pick it up. I told him, no, let me go and bring it myself. So the boy went and asked my wife, where's the dad's telephone? She picked the telephone and gave it to him. My wife followed him. Because at that time I had not given her fish money to go to the market. That was how I put my hand inside my pocket and brought out $300 and gave it to her and told her to go to the market, that these people are taking me and I do not know where they are taking me to. And he said to me, Mandinga, where are you going to? I said to her, I don't know. Then they left. For a little 300 meters. After we went for a little while, I think it's about 300 meters. You just military pickup. We saw the military pickups. Two of them. Both of them had these big weapons, big guns. And they said to them, we have now the Sering in custody. I said, well, this is not a small thing. All of that time, I was taking it easy. We went to the Costa Road. We went past the traffic light.
Football
when we got to where they play the football, my wife was surprised. She called my line to know where I was going to. The boy picked up the telephone and said to her, the dad is busy. That was where I wanted to bite my ring. My ring, so that the people will somersault and we all die. I said Serentuba, who was under the captivity of the Europeans. And no one will say that Serentuba has killed any white person. And if I, who is a disciple of Serentuba, I would not kill anybody. And I forgot that plan. I went along with them until we got to Banjul.
I know the NIA.
When we got inside, I knew this is the place. When we got inside, they took our belongings.
The
boy whose surname is Busol.
for 500 pounds.
I put the 500 pounds that the white lady gave to me inside the jacket of my mobile phone. I have not seen that mobile phone.
500 pounds.
I have not seen the 500 pounds. My son went there on several occasions. Eventually they told him that if he went there again, they were going to arrest him.
Who did you give the mobile phone to?
That NIA Buso.
Kan la jox mobile bi?
The NIA officer, that Buso.
Proceed, please.
Buso bo bente ana bo mobile bi mu ko gis.
Up till now, I cannot see the mobile phone. This was how they took me.
Where inside the NIA premises did they take you?
Fan ci biir NIA foofu fan lañ la yóbbu?
Boo dugga ci benn am nga am story building.
As you get inside, you know there is a story building. You will go upstairs. That is where the place was. The people who were there were more than 30 people.
So you called it a panel, isn't it?
Well, they said that was a panel.
Could you tell us the members of that panel that you can remember?
Usman Sonko.
Usman Sonko.
IGP.
At the time, he was the IGP.
Lantombo.
Tumulutamba.
Last name. Lantombo. Last name.
Lantombo nakalasanda.
Tamba.
Proceed.
Tumulutamba. Usa Jamme. Aki Mohamed Aydara.
And Mohamed Aydara.
Mohamed Aydara manaka suma loxo ndeyjoor.
Mohamed Aydara was by my right hand side.
Suma càmmoñ.
My left hand side, Fode Bare.
Ñu bari.
Many others.
Ñoo nekkoon foofu.
Were there.
Ñu commencé di ma laajte.
They began to question me.
I
told them, you will just...
What did they ask you?
Whether
I knew anything about the coup d'etat, and I told them I knew nothing about the coup d'etat. I told them Nur Cham is someone I cannot tell whether it's dark in complexion or complexion. I've never set my eyes on him. And Nur Cham himself has never seen me personally. I said to them, Ali Job, Abduddin. These are the two that I know. And they are not soldiers. I said to them, Ali Job is here. Ask him. I said to him, ask him. They said to me, well, when we are ready, he will speak. I said, well, it's fine. We were there until around 11 when my prayer time was due. I told them that I have to pray. And they said to me, pray.
Wow.
I said, yes. They said, well, that's fine. I was insisting that I will pray, And then they said, well, leave this guy to go and pray. They said, let one soldier escort me so that I can perform my ablution. Open the door to the bathroom, and he sat there, he stood there with a gun. I asked him, if I told it was your dad who was easing himself, would you stand there with a gun? If it was Yajami himself, would you stand there with your gun? He said to me, I do not believe you. I don't trust you because they said that you can fly. I told him that's a lie. I said, then, well, let's go. When we came, one of the friends said to me, Dad, you are so quick. Well, I said to Mandinka, this guy said that I was standing over me as I was easing myself, and normally I don't stand when I'm doing that, urinating. And so that man said to me, Mandinka, so that's what he said to you. Then he said, well, let's go down. And he too has his gun.
You are testifying in Wolof. You will give your closing remarks.
Okay. Then
so this boy told me, let's go downstairs. He showed me the bathroom and told me to go in there. I had a Quran inside in my pocket, and I did not want to go with it inside the bathroom, so I removed it and I removed my overall. And I handed it to the soldier and my prayer beads as well. And I went inside. I poured water. I urinated. And then I performed. And he said, no, don't perform ablution there. Come outside. I went outside and he gave me the kettle.
In the end, were you allowed to pray, to perform your prayers?
I prayed on the ground there. I did not go upstairs.
And after your prayers, were you taken back upstairs?
Yes, upstairs.
And what happened there?
That was where Tumbul Tamba gave orders that since I refused to speak, let the soldiers who were having their guns point their guns at me. I counted all of those people and they were 12.
And my mind went to Serintuba.
My mind went to Serintuba. That it was also said that it was 12 soldiers who pointed their guns at him. The order was that they should shoot him. I have not seen him Tuba, but I see 12 guns being pointed at me. Just as we are here. When if they should fire those guns, I was not going to be the only one to die. I knew that, and I said, well, if it comes to dying, then all of us here, we are going to die. I said, well, give the order, let it come. I said, when I'm sleeping and they want me to wake up, they collect me with a gun. I said that to him. At that time, I was overboard. Hydra was seated by my right. Last day. He said, you see, that's your last lunch. He said, here is supakanja. Here is roasted meat. He said, you Senegalese, you like chebujin. I told him, you are such a big liar. He said, you are such a liar. Baba Saw was seated over there, a little man. He got up from where he was. And he said to me, do you not know that this man is our boss? And then I'm telling that cassette do not allow it to go into public domain. I told them, even if you were Yaya Jammeh, I would say the same thing.
Did he do that? Did he do anything upon hearing that?
Man?
Yes, Baba Saho, you said he walked
Baba
up to
Saho, he came and slapped me.
Usman Sonko.
Usman Sonko too came and slapped me. At that time, he was the IG.
Did anybody say anything?
Who will say anything there?
All this that was happening, you said there's a cassette. Was it being recorded?
Who are the ones in custody of the cassette?
I'm asking whether it was being video recorded.
What you are doing here, whatever you want to go out is what goes out.
But in that case, was it actually being video recorded? Yes or no?
That's what they said. I did not see the cameraman, but I saw the head of GRTS at the time. I know Mursanya, we used to come to our village in Yalal and play films. Do you think I'll be afraid of such a person?
But did you have a conversation with him, Modusanya?
Blackboard, television.
He said to me, I want you to speak. Because when I came, they wrote my name on a plank of wood and they put a string around it and they hooked it on my neck. And they said that he told me that they want you to go over television and speak.
What were you to talk about on television?
To talk about my involvement in the coup d'etat, and I told him that I am not involved in the coup d'etat.
Did they ask you to say anything to or about Yaya Jammeh?
They told me to tell Yaya Jammeh to pardon me, that I am part of the coup d'etat, and I refused.
That day, apart from the slapping by two individuals you mentioned, Baba Saho and Usman Sonko, did anything happen to you that day?
No.
After your interrogation, what happened?
So on Tuesday,
you deal on mile 2. Both 6 o'clock, Usman Sonko mile 2.
They took me to mile 2. It was Tumbul Tamba who came and told them to take me to mile 2 around 6.
You told us earlier on that when Ali Job called you on the phone, he asked you to pray for him and 3 other people who were part of the coup but were not yet arrested. And he gave you the names Tumbul Tamba, Musa Jammeh, and Langtombong Tamba. How did you feel when you saw these people in the panel?
Legi Ali Job buñ la ooyoon ci téléphone bi daf la waxoon ne nga ñaanal ñetti nit yoo xam ne bëggoon na nga ñaanal leen Musa Jammeh, Tumbul Tamba ak Langtombong Tamba. Léegi yow nga ñëw dajee ñoom jàkkaarloo ñoom foofu bi nga leen gisee yow loo yëg?
Xawma leen.
I did not know them.
Ko Tumbul Tamba keroog gis naa ko man dama dégg Tumbul Tamba man la kii de turam dégg naa turam.
That day I saw Tumbul Tamba, and I heard his name. Then I said, well, this guy, I have heard his name.
Musa Jammeh
Well, for Musa Jammeh, he exposes himself. He usually would say, I am Musa Jammeh. Langtombong too, I was told, this is Langtombong. I knew him only by name. Alijo told me his name.
But you were told
from your testimony, you were told that these people were also involved in the coup, but were not yet captured. How did you feel seeing them sit there and interrogating you about being involved in the coup? How did you feel?
Legi hamna yow dañ la waxon ne ñett ñooñu nang leen ñaanal dañ bokk ci coup d'état bi waaye jàppaa guñ leen léegi nga ñëw yow nag ñu jàppala di la won ne da nga bokk ci coup d'état nga gis leen ñoom ñu ngi toog loo yëg
ñoom ñu ngi bokk ci ñi nga xam ne ñu ngi laa laaj yow sa bokk ci coup d'état boobu lan nga naka nga gisee woon mbir moomu
dafa nekk ci man cinéma.
It was a cinema to me.
Because yow ma ñaanal la.
Because you that I have prayed for, so that you will not be arrested. And you in turn called me to question me whether I am part of the coup d'etat. That is a cinema. Did you make it known to them? No. So at the end of your interrogation, they took you to mile 2.
Tema suma laas de mo war ko defay fen duma lakate duma de dama ko bëgg mu won wrong man ko té duma gëné mal fekkal ma fofu wax na ko lol to débar mu ngi dund wala for dama wax na lol they gave me food to eat and I told them this guy said this is my last meal. I refused to eat. I told them that I will not eat to prove him wrong and I will still live. For the body is alive and he can testify to that.
No. Did you say duma gëné te fekkuma mile 2?
And
I said, I will not leave mile 2 until he comes there and meets me there.
Then, mile 2? Mile 2?
Then they took me to mile 2. I said, is this necessary to take me to mile 2?
They
did not take me to court.
I'm a lawyer.
And I don't have a lawyer. I said, court is to remand someone.
We'll be mile to 6 o'clock. The
only delay at mile 2 was only up to 6 o'clock because I was checking my We arrived at mile 2 at 6 p.m. Proceed. When we came, they took my watch, took my cap, and I told them the cap wasn't going. They wanted to take my scarf too. I told them they wanted to take my bag. I said no problem. My charms, and my ring too. Ring too? Nothing will be left. They wanted to take my Quran too, but they didn't see what was inside my pocket. They took me. That was where I got to know Tamsir. Tamsir who?
Tamsir Jase.
Tamsir Jase. He said where I am, I don't have a mattress. I said to him, you were the one that I was fearful of. I thought if I had known that you were an accused, I would have asked you to come along. He said, I am here for 3 days and each day they used to beat me up. I said, why did you not tell me? Apart from Tamsir Jase, did you find there any public figure, any notable person?
Lu ute ak Tamsir Jase ndax gis nga fa keneen ci ay nit ko xamne ku siiw la
dañu dañu fanaan
when we went there and spent the night
ñu fanaan borset
next day
bu aral bala
that was on a Wednesday
nga bes bo dañu wara dem ci lel nga bo nekk julli demulo ci lel ben do julli de
that was the day that we are supposed to go for the what do you call this the initiation ceremony. Yeah.
That
was the Wednesday that we were supposed to go for the initiation ceremony. Even if I am on my own, by 12 I used to get up and make my prayer. By midnight I do my nafila. I got up and performed my ablutions, after which I noticed someone knocked on my door. And then I saw that the cell door, my cell door was open. I said I was slow in performing my ablution. I was waiting for...
I said to myself, I wish I had performed this ablution earlier. Someone is coming to my rescue. Little did I know that I was going to be in serious trouble.
Because when they opened the door, what I saw, the people who were in balaclava,
in charge for Omar Koli.
There was one
name Jagai.
Lantombo was in charge, Omar Koli. They call him Jagai.
I saw one person there, Lantombo was in charge of him. He's called Jagai from Mandinari.
Wow. Lantombo mo ko mile tu pour état bi pour kep nga ngay gene gudi mo ñoo jël sa tour mota kep ku ñaan sa mbokk reer na teyel Jagai.
Lantombe was the one they brought there so that anyone who was being taken out of the prison should write your name.
How do you know that?
So that anyone who was...
in the castle, mile to Chugudi, Yamano Bob, Jagai Mono in the prison officer, maybe cell.
Anyone
under black.
Anyone that was taken out of prisons at that time at night, it was Jagai. It was Jagai who normally come with the prison officers. And MC Cham is here. He can even be my father. I know him very well.
My question is, how do you know that Jagai was placed at the prisons by Lantombo?
I was in prison for 9 years. What I know about the prisons, even David Coney, who is director, doesn't know it.
Okay, but because you've made an important accusation against Langtombong, I just want to know your source of knowledge, your source of information. How do you know that Jagai was placed at the prison or posted at the prison by Langtombong?
xam nga li nga wax fi tuuma bu rëy la ci kaw Lantombong loolu tax ma di la laaj naka nga xamee ne Jagai Lantombong moo ko ebal foofu ci kaso bi.
It's not an allegation.
Lantombong mu ngi Gambia fi. Lantombong ko dëgg.
Is in the Gambia.
Okay, let's do it this way. Jagai, which government service did he work for?
Jagai moom ci ban fànn la liggéey ci
loolu. State House.
At the time he worked at the State House.
Was he a military officer?
Military officer.
Was a military officer and up to the date is working.
At the time, what position did Langtombong hold?
Jamono boobu ban maxaama la Lantombong yore woon.
Lantombong am nga jamono boobu moo nekk bi kii génn Cham moo nekkoon oversee.
At that time, when the Cham was out of the position, he was the one overseeing the military.
So your belief is that because Langtombong was the acting head of the army, he must have posted Jagai to the prison?
Bon daal yow li nga gëm mooy jamono jooju Lantombong moom lañ dénkoon njiit yaa gi ci soldaar gi bon ne loolu moo tax nga foog ne
Jagai du ko doon nangu Jagai du ko doon nangu jantam mu ne ma Lantombong mooy pot ku muy def lu tax mo bëgg loolu tam man nekk naa ko ñu suma gaañ yóbbu ñu suma gaañ ñu suma yaram fi suma moro dañu militaire dañu hôpital
Jagai
wala kii waa docteur dañu ci office David.
Jagai never made a secret of it. He said it himself. My wounds are here as testimony.
No suma boss.
Step by step. Okay. Did Jagai say to you that he was posted there by Lantombong?
Mu jël ko ndanka Jagai ci boppam moom dafa la wax ne Lantombong moo ko fa ebal.
He said that to me himself.
Okay, let us proceed. On that early morning, midnight, your cell door opened, Jagai was there in front of you. What did he say to you?
Waa léegi xaaju guddi boobu sa buntu cell bi ubbeeku Jagai taxaw jàkkaarloo yow lan la wax.
Munuma kaay.
He said to me, come.
I
said, let me collect my halftime. Inside because I had used it as my bed sheet on the floor. when I was going to the prisons, I had these particular shoes they call Marcus, and he said that one does not go into mile 2.
And foot tanka nen la duga mile 2.
So I went into mile 2 barefooted.
Okay. And did they take you away?
Yeah,
why you name?
Yes, they took me away.
Were you alone when you were taken away?
MC Cham Gambia bu de deewul.
MC Cham
ko gis
astagfirullah yalla.
Dama wax rek.
MC Cham is in the Gambia. Ask him. We were in the same vehicle. Myself.
And man xam nañ ma soxla. Bu ñu jël ci suma ñëk duga day ma ki mo sëriñ bi.
I knew that they needed me because as they got inside, I was identified that this is the Syrian.
That is when you arrived at mile 2.
But the night we were going, it was not any peaceful at all. I said, I have to be very smart here.
The
helicopters behind. And when we were coming, we were not handcuffed. So
when we were being taken to the prison during the afternoon, we were not on handcuff. But this time around, early hours of the morning, they were taken in handcuffs. I knew that it wasn't going to bode well for us.
Proceed. They took 2 plastic bags and they hooded me with them. So that we would not know where we were. After they put the 2 plastic bags God put air into my mouth and
the plastic bags got into my mouth.
Okay.
I bit on it, I chewed on it, and there was a hole through which I was able to breathe.
And they did not know.
They did not know.
We continue.
We continue. When MC Cham came and was trying to climb, they pushed him and he fell over. And I said to myself, I have learned something from you. Well, I said, my hands are also I cannot climb. And as they tried to hold me, as I put my head inside a little bit, I fell on the soldiers there.
MC Cham
was screaming that the handcuffs were tight. Mine were not tight, but I was also screaming that mine were tight. Went like that until we arrived. I said, here, I am not going to be the first to arrive. I don't speak English, but I heard them saying the Marabu is here. I said, here, I'm not climbing down, except if you come and pick me up. MC Sam alighted and they started beating him up and they said, this is Syrian. And he shouted back, I am not the Syrian. He said, the Syrian is on the vehicle. They brought me down. They started beating me up. I said, this is not a joking matter now. Why you should do? I joined they were taking 7 apiece. After the 7 beat you and are done, the other 7 will come and beat you up.
Were you able to recognize those who were beating you?
I didn't get that.
Were you able to identify any one of them?
No, I could not, but when they called their names, I used to memorize it.
Did you hear any names being mentioned?
Wow. Yes.
Which ones?
Malik Jata. He took a knife. He shaved my beard.
How did you feel about that?
It's more than 30 years since I last shaved, and that was where I cried.
Why did you cry? Why did you cry?
Yes. That is the way of the Prophet. He said if you want to identify a Muslim, is through the beard. Even if you died in the bush, your beard will identify you as a Muslim. So I said, why would he do this to me?
You thought it was an attack on your religious beliefs?
I cried because there was a time I was looking for a visa to go to England, and they asked me to shave my beard, and I told them I would not. Even the official there suggested to give me his own money to go to a barber to shave, but I refused. But I said I
my sponsor asked why I didn't do it, and I said even if I had saved my beard, God could have taken my life even before I get to England. So I would. So okay, all right. So I refused to save my beard because this was important to me. So let us proceed. Apart from saving your beard by Malik Jatta,
it took a knife and threatened to kill me,
to slaughter me.
I thought he was joking, but when he started to cut and I saw blood coming out, I said, this man is... And at that time, he was smelling. The stench of alcohol was coming from him. Even in their vehicle, the stench of alcohol, kana, drugs, you get it at the LIG.
So what happened? He started to slaughter you. He started.
He started to slaughter me, but someone came and told him to stop. I can swear, I swear by the Quran here.
My belief is that intervention must have been made by Serigne Saliou Mbacké.
When he took my knife, this was where he stabbed me. If he is the Gambia or anywhere, you'll hear me. He took a razor blade and cut my ear. There was one other boy, a jungler. I don't know his He took my foot and placed it on a block and told me, you said you are selling. You are going back with one foot.
The same person intervened and told him to leave the syringe alone, to leave the marabu alone. He too stopped and he lifted off the knife. Just a moment. The person who placed your foot or your leg on the brick and started cutting it with a knife, you said you can't remember his name. Is that case?
Tekke ci ko hair commencé na dafa dok sa tanka bi nga ne mënuloo ko xàmmee.
man ko Ismaila Jammeh wax naa la ko Ismaila Jammeh bi mu ko dagg kii ñëw ma ne ko Ismaila Jammeh foofu laa xam turam.
When he was cutting and this guy came and called him Ismaila Jammeh, that was where I got to know his name.
You said something like Jongo. Do you recall exactly the name of that group of people?
Dang fi tudda lu mel ni Jongo la ndax yow fàttale ko nga kuréel boobu ñoom ñan la.
sama fàttale ko bi Malick Diatta kii xam nga kii Malick Alhaji Martin ñëw naa ko yokk suma mbuus suma bopp encore.
Alhaji Martin came and added the polythene bags over my head.
No,
the first two that they put over my head. And then they came and added other two. So, Here came inside, and I also beat on the I beat on the polythene bag, and that was when who did that?
Alaji Martin.
Your testimony is that Alaji Martin did what?
Alaji Martin def.
Alaji Martin
When he put the polythene bags over my head, he took a hammer and hit me on my head. How did it feel when you received that blow? I fainted. I fell.
This man is dead.
They were even scared, and they said this man is dead. There was one lady. I forgot her name, whether it was what they did to her is not necessary for me to narrate, but she knows it. She was a lawyer. When I was going, I went with MC Cham, but I went together with her. She was so weak that they thought she was dead. When we were coming, they were scared themselves, and they said the sheriff is dead. What do you mean? You mean when you were being returned to Mile 2? At this stage, where was MC Cham? That was where I left MC Cham. That day, as you were being beaten, were they asking you questions? They asked me if I knew anything about the coup d'etat. I told them they would kill me, but I know nothing about the coup d'etat. You were returned to Mile 2 afterwards. Were you taken to the NIA again? Yes, after 2 weeks. They took me back, but they did not beat me. But how about your other fellow detainees? Because a lot of people were arrested with regards to this case. What happened to them? First cell. Number 5 I was at the first cell. When you get to confinement, that's where they put me, because they said they did not trust me. They thought that I was but they did not know that was the best cell in number 5. Because there you can get others will say that their cells were hot, but I was others would say number 5 was hot, but I wasn't feeling it. It was the best cell to be in. Because I had 3 windows. Small window. What happened to the others? Wasa Kamara was so beaten that when I saw him, I felt sorry for him. Who else did you know? Christian. When they took him for the 3rd time, he was electrocuted. For the 4th time, he was electrocuted. And who else did you know was tortured? Bunja Dabo. He broke his hand. When I came out, I told him that they hit me with a I told him that I was hit by a hammer on the head, and they said, that's not true. Wednesday. Go ahead. Wednesday Sukudi. Thursday Sukudi, Friday, Thursday Sukudi, they did that to me on Wednesday. Thursday night, they took Farin Sanyang and they broke 2 of his teeth. I asked him what happened, and he said to me, Mandinka, they broke my tooth with a hammer. And I said to him, if you said this to me, I'll give you a nasty slap. Since I was telling you the same thing yesterday and you denied it. You know, I told you that you are a jungler. So now what has broken your teeth? I asked him, What broke your teeth? And he said it's a hammer. I said if I do not think carefully, I will beat you so badly because.
You mentioned MC Cham having been there. Was he the only politician who was detained there at that time?
MC Cham moving forward.
MC Cham, Lai Conte.
MC Cham, Lai Conte. And one Lebanese. I forgot his name. But a native of Makati. How I got to know, because when he saw Wasa, he addressed him as his younger brother. And that was when Wasa told him, this is a disciple of Tuba. And
how about Sirif Diba? Was he?
Sirif Diba.
They did not beat him. But when they elected him,
you see what Gambia.
They did not beat him up. They did not beat him up. But the night that Per Mende was he was terrified and crying and he was waiting. He was not beaten, but his problem was he was so terrified that he got sick. In fact, in the morning he could not take back his own. He had to be taken by people. I said to him, well, for you, if they are taking you to where they took us for the initiation ceremony, you probably would have died.
Let's get this straight. The members of the panel were not present when you were being tortured.
Legi ñi nga xamné ñoom nga wax nonu ñoo bokk ci panel bi ñoom teewuñ woon ba nga xamné ñu la doon def mitital yoyu
ka ñu fa was they were there ñu fa dañu doolay gis waat ñoom ñu fa you will not see them but they were there.
That is just your belief, right?
That is what happened. Okay. That is what happened.
So ultimately you were prosecuted.
Legi gannaaw bi nak ñu yóbbu la code.
Wow. Yes. And you were convicted.
Wow.
Yes. What was your sentence?
10
years.
And how many years did you serve?
9 years, 4 months,
15
and 15 days.
How did you come to be released?
Before that, I said to them,
and
I was on prayer. One day
I step backwards. Did you say that if you will
is the government, and I saw him riding a bicycle.
And you think that angered the soldiers?
That is what I thought.
So,
how much politics?
Well, nobody knows me in politics.
So, afterwards you served your sentence, you fasted 3 years, you assured that you would leave Mile 2 alive, and it would be on a Friday.
Yes.
Proceed.
There is a question.
He was the one who prepared my food to breakfast every day. I sympathize him so much so that in the end I even forgot my own condition. They never wanted Per to leave prison. They wanted him to die. So he called me and said to me, my father, assist me, I'm a Christian. He told me, I saw what you said to Wasa, and it was one time they took him, and I senior him. And you, it's only one time I saw that you have been taken away. I said to him, well, this thing just caught me unawares. If I had known, I wouldn't have gone. He showed me where he was. Electric. I felt so sorry for him that I cried. I even forgot about my own situation.
5 litre bidon bi dama ko naan jël ben 5 litre bidon bu ndaw bi tam man naan parce que xam nga dafa jeexal.
He said to me yesterday when I returned, I drank 5 liters of water, and I took the other small bottle and I drank too, because everything was
he was completely dehydrated.
Yes.
Munuma xamna lu wax ko xam wa daf suma fanan non damay dé ñu ne bi ñu sel bi ñu ala bu la fa bayal ko mu dé fi.
He said when they locked the cell, they said in Mandinka, let him die there. He said, inshallah, help me. And I said, if God wills, they will not take you. And he said to me, they said they are taking me tonight to kill me.
12 midnight. I
told him, when that time, when 12 midnight, it comes to 12 midnight, even if you are sleeping, you'll wake up, because the manner in which they used to come Demba said that each time he hears them coming, he used to tie his chest.
And Père
too said that when he heard them coming, he said to himself, this is the last day, and he hit the wall to my cell and said, Mbake, assist me. I told him, no, just calm down, they'll pass. They came and they passed him. They went to others, and that came with him.
Your prayers worked.
It's not my prayers, Allah. They took them away and they gave others. When it's 3 a.m. in the morning, at least.
How frequent was this?
How frequent? They did that for when they were arrested for 3 weeks. They were constantly bringing people in and out.
Okay. Tell us about the conditions at Mile 2 while you were incarcerated there.
Mile 2,
Mile 2 enemies are the man here for Gadam Castle. I
will not even wish my enemy to be at Mile 2.
Because Ben, like a little johnny.
The food that they give to people, you will not even give it to your dog to eat.
Secretary General.
Jogoba is listening to me. I said to him, you are the Secretary General. I said to him, despite everything, if you saw the kind of food that they were giving to the prisoners, they will lock all of you up. I said, Yajam is not a bad person.
Why? Because it's
the people who are surrounding him who have made him the way he is. And he's someone who listens with only one ear. If someone comes and tells him, Selimfal, I've done this thing, you will not ask Selimfal. You will beat Selimfal. So later on, if he comes to realize the truth, he's always embarrassed to come forward and apologize. I knew that they falsely accused me of being involved in the coup d'etat.
Okay, you were sentenced. Do you know whether any efforts were made to secure your release?
Legi yow tej nañ la ci kasso bi ndax xam nga na amna yeen jéego yo xamne amna ñu ko jël pour ñu bayyi la
suma sëriñ
my marabu,
what's his name?
Serigne Salim Mbake.
What was done to secure your release?
Biñu arrêté hanga dañu fay ay meeting bi
setu blink nga ne
He said after our arrest, there was an AU summit in Gambia.
Oh, arrest. Okay. Yeah.
Serin Salo. He sent Abla Wada here.
Airport. $14 million. $14 million.
He stopped at the airport. And what about the $14 million? $14 million. So that they will release the entire group. And what about the $14 million?
You got $14 million.
He said that he will release us during the AU summit. Who received that money?
And
Serin Saleh gave it to him to hand over to Yajame so that he could release us. And you said Yajame promised to release you after the AU summit. That he will release all of us. Did he do that?
Definitely.
Le meeting bi Abla Wada dafa dem benen rew. Abla Wada ko su meeting bi je demal nga fekk ki mu baye suma nit yi. Abla Wada dem ci meeting ba mu ñew fekk yonna premier ministre fi. Xam kan mo ko ministre xam jigen bi la xam Idrissa Seck la. Mu ñekkon fi. Abla Wada ñew. Bi ñu man duma sétan téléphone de. Gaay ñi sétan ñu né Abla Wada dafa def yaaje bi ni. Mu ko lay mu bind kay di jox. Gaay daw ñoo fekk mas mu kay sétan télé. Te dañu wara ñu xassere bi li wara def nako. Man fekk dégg naa Youssouf yëpp ñu ne Abla Wada dafa kii dafa yónnee Abla Wada ban dégg naa loolu ma gis kii bi nga jox yaa ji ma kayit bi mu xool kayit bi fi mu fan Abla Wada keroog fanaan bi noonu la ñibbi dafa mer yow nga wax sa morom sëriñ président mu ne nga def naa def li mu ne wax sëriñ mu ne ñuy dina am nga mel ni ku waxloo nit kii mu ngi bisoo Sénégal
no, he said when Abla Wada returned, during the meeting he was being represented by the Prime Minister. I can't tell who the Prime Minister was at the time, could have been the lady or could have been Idrissa Seck. But when Abla Wada came, it was showed on television. In fact, my fellow prisoners came to me to ask me to come and watch what was being shown on telly. I saw that Abla Wada wrote a note and sent it to Jame and was gesturing to him questioningly. But afterwards, Abla Wada left. He was disappointed that Jame did not see through his promise. He had promised to do something. Abla Wada told his marabu, but Jame did not follow through. Continue, please.
Abla Wada no delo Senegal.
And that was how Abla Wada returned back to Senegal.
The following week.
The following week, he sent in a grandchild. What's the grandchild's name?
Imbas.
Selim Bas. What's his full name?
Selim Bas Mbak. Selim Bas Mbak.
There are lots of Selim Bas in Touba. Selim Bas Abdul Hader, Selim Bas Mutara.
Selim Bas Abdul Hader because more like on protocol.
Selim Bas Abdul Hader was the protocol officer. Porte-parole.
When I got a master, no command on Selim Touba.
Said go and check this guy. I am a son of Selim Touba. Tell him to be comfortable. He will live in peace. What I am supposed to do, I have done all. But this man, what he has said over television, this grace will follow him. And I said that this grace will follow Gambia. When he's leaving this country, this grace will follow him. And that has happened. This emissary, did you meet him? Huh? This emissary, Selim Bas Abdul Hader.
Selim Bas Abdul Hader,
yes, he saw me. They thought he was. They thought he was the Senegalese ambassador. When he requested to see me, they officer. That prison officer, because they did not take me serious. Alicia said it here. Why are you not always taking Selim Fall? It's your turn to take him. He said to me, come, let's go. So we went. The the Marabu came. Because I knew that these people, they did not take me to be anybody of significance. So the essence of Saint Basil, that I should persevere, all these allegations, he said, the relatives of some of our colleagues told the